Okay, here we go. No Malice. Welcome
Yes,
back.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Good to be here.
Yo, me and you actually go way, way back because I've been doing Clipse interviews since before VladTV, back when I was doing DVDs and mixtapes.
Bro, I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. That's what's up. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
minute.
man. Well, congratulations on everything. You definitely have an incredible legacy and an unbelievable body of work.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. It's been a long road, and I believe it's still going to continue.
Absolutely, man. You look great. You look healthy.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Thank you. Thank
can't
you
ask
very
for more
much.
than that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, we've done other interviews before, but I would like to just kind of go through the timeline of how you got to this place of where you are now, because I feel like the history of No Malice and the Clips is very important, and not everybody knows it.
Right.
So, you grew up in Virginia. I guess you were born in the Bronx, but you grew up in Virginia Beach.
That's right. That's right. Born in the
Okay.
Bronx, Bronx, Lebanon. There was just an incident there too. I don't know if you heard about it or whatever, but
Yeah, the hospital.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So we lived on Gun Hill Road in Tilden Towers, and at a young age, I was 8 when we came to Virginia. So yeah, Virginia Beach.
Okay. Now, growing up, you were actually raised in the church.
Yeah, we went to church.
Okay. Now, was that just going to church every so often, or were you guys really deep into the whole church
No,
culture?
no, we were never deep into the church thing, but church was not taboo for us. It would be nothing for my mom to say, "Get up this Sunday, y'all going to church." But it wasn't like every Sunday, on schedule we were in the church. But church was definitely not taboo for us.
Sure. Now, at one point, you and your brother started getting mixed up with the wrong people and getting involved in drugs and alcohol. Like, at what age did that really start happening?
Well, I wouldn't say alcohol. I mean, drank just like any young kid might drink, or going out to the clubs, having a drink. But and I can't even call them the wrong people because those guys were our friends, are our friends. 15, when I was in Brandon Middle School, junior high. That's when we got into the things that we got involved with concerning drugs.
Okay. So, at
And,
15,
and, and
you
keep in
guys were
mind,
out.
keep in mind, I'm almost 5 years older than Pusha, so he was, coming up after me.
Oh, okay. So, you're 15 and he's 10.
Right.
So you started getting involved into the drugs, and initially in terms of selling and so forth.
What is this about, man? What is this about? But yeah,
We're,
yeah,
we're gonna
definitely.
we're gonna get into everything. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I think what's important is the story and the development and how you got here. You see
No,
what I'm
no, no,
saying?
no, no, no. I'm with you. I'm just still very cautious of things I say. But yeah, definitely, definitely. I think it's pretty much known. 15. See, when we came here from New York, we had two cousins here that basically had this housing project sewn up, called Bridal Creek. And these guys, they grew like freakishly big at a young age, and nobody would ever mess with them. So it was very easy for me to go out because my cousins ran everything. At first they wouldn't even let me get down with anything that was going on, but after a while you learn the ropes, hanging out, everybody knowing you and knowing not to mess with you. So it was, kind of easy.
Okay, so you started hustling and making money at 15.
Right.
At what point did your brother start getting involved in it also?
Well, you have to know, okay, so then right out of high school, I joined the army. And when I would come back from the army, all my friends out there would tell me that, my younger brother Terrence, he was out there a lot, and telling me, what he was doing, and he was running with the guys that I was running with when I left, except for I had gotten married and went and joined the army. So it's the same thing with him. Everybody knew my cousins, they knew me. That's Terrence, you don't mess with him. And he loved money so much anyway, so that kind of explains how that came about.
Okay. Now, at that age, at teenagers, what do you think was the worst thing that you guys had to go through? Because when you talk about selling drugs, especially if you talk about cocaine, that comes with a lot of violence.
Hmm.
Like, what do you think as a teenager was the hardest thing that you went through?
I don't think I went through any hard things. We have a dad that's like 6'2", 6'3", so we knew not to bring no trouble home. Like, we come from a total functional house. It didn't make sense for us to even be selling drugs. We don't have the proverbial drug selling story. I had to feed my kids or lights was getting cut out. We were just doing it because we wanted to have the latest fashion, the fly kicks, and even at that age, we were very intellectual. So we had the all of the benefits of the drug dealing without all the nonsense.
Okay. So, at what point do you and your brother start looking at rap as something that could potentially be serious?
Well, Pusha, he never really even had an interest, in rap music at first. And when I say that, I mean actually rapping. Like, he would ask me questions like, why do you like this guy as opposed to that guy in rapping? And I would always, break down cats like Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. And I would always tell him, or I remember telling him, I would like these guys because they have something to say. It was a message. Not only was it a message, but it was the structure of the lyrics. I remember like hearing like two lines that rhyme, then the next two lines, they would rhyme, and then like by the fifth line, it'll go back up to the first two lines that rhyme, and that was just a rhyme scheme that I just absolutely loved. So I would, tell my brother, what I saw in hip hop and what I liked about it and why I chose this guy over that guy or whatever. But I always knew that I could rhyme.
So, at what point did you guys decide to form the Clipse and name it that?
Well, the reason why I never took rap too seriously because I thought being famous was always something that happened to someone else. So even though I was known around the neighborhood for rapping, it wasn't until I met with real producers, guys that could make, really good beats. We had a crew called DDP, Def Dual Productions. Actually, we were a gang, and everybody had a partner. And, my man had told me, he was kind of like the leader of us all. He said, I met this guy who makes beats, and you should check him out because he's really hot. And that guy was Timbaland, and Timbaland was in this crew too, DDP, and he would make beats for all of us. We just like to rap and beat up people, so that was kind of like our thing at that time or whatever. And then after, Timbaland got signed, and he was doing the whole Missy and the Jodeci thing and all of that. And I met Pharrell, and we had like mutual friends and met Chad. And, we just always would go to Chad's house and we would spit rhymes, and, they had, even at that time, incredible beats, and, just hanging out rhyming. And it wasn't until one time where Pusha actually wanted to get down. He wrote his first rap ever. I remember it was called A Thief in the Night was the name of the song. And he like totally crushed it. I mean, first rap ever. And seeing as how I didn't like to do a lot of writing and he didn't like to do a lot of writing was like the perfect storm. We come together, you write 16, I write 16, and then we both split an 8, song done.